Hi guys, it's Mikhail. Today I'm going to be talking about the 12 dimensions. It's my first video, so bear with me. My markings are not really on like they should be. It's Monday today, Moon Day, so I have on the moon. And I kind of switched, I flip-flopped Saturday and Friday. On Friday I had the mark of Saturn, and on Saturday I had the mark of Venus. On Sunday yesterday I had the mark of the sun. Today I have the mark of the moon. They're all alchemical symbols. So the 12 dimensions are planes of existence. And each planet has a dimensional frequency they operate on mainly. Now, New Age believers and believers of that stuff have believed in other things for a long time that vary from what I believe. So what I was taught is the sun is 12th dimension and 11th dimension. Mercury is the 10th dimension. The moon is either the 8th or the 9th. I believe it's the 8th, but you bear with me. And the Venus is on the 9th. Earth is on the 7th dimensional frequency. Mars is on the 6th. Jupiter is on the 5th. Saturn is on the 4th. Neptune, hold on. Uranus is on the 3rd, Neptune is on the 2nd, and Pluto is on the 1st. So with that being said, I'm going to break everything down. So 12th dimension is where the Elohim live. It's source consciousness. It's being tapped into the omnipresence totally and completely. Uh, 11th dimension is also where angels and other beings live. It is inside the sun because the sun has a portal inside of it, a portal to heaven, if you will. I have seen the Elohim, the mighty ones, standing in the sun, sitting in the sun, looking down on humanity. All golden light. I've seen some of the Egyptian gods and goddesses just standing there, the ancient ones, the old ones, looking down on humanity, making their remarks. You know, it's kind of, one time I was in a ritual where some of the witches took on roles of the gods and goddesses, and they were just talking about humanity, like, what shall we do with them? And that's kind of what goes on. Now, the 10th dimension, that's the dimensional frequency or consciousness, because I'm talking about consciousness as well. What consciousness you get on all of these. So when you're tapped into 12th dimensional consciousness, you're tapped into everything. There's no limits. There's only possibility. 11th dimension is kind of sort of the same too. 10th dimension is planetary consciousness. On this consciousness, you can embody any given celestial or planetary body or world. That's the consciousness of the world you're living in. Like a planetary consciousness. Like if you've ever heard somebody say, I am Venus, or I am the moon, or I am Saturn, they're on that 10th dimensional consciousness. 9th dimensional consciousness is rebirth. It's death of the soul. So Venus is rebirth. It's death of the soul. Now, I know you guys think Venus is 5D, and it is. It's 5th dimension as well, because all of the planets, all the stars, they're multidimensional. Now, they just have a main frequency that they're supposed to operate on. Yes, Earth is 7th. 7th dimensional is like unity. On that, on those spiritual planes of the 7th dimension, beings of light, such as the what is it called? I'm forgetting what they're called. Zetas, Zeta, Zetas. they group up as one collective being. So multiple beings grouping up as one collective being to work as one being. And the higher up you go in the dimensions, the more unity you see. The more of this you see, where it's a collective being, a collective consciousness. And the sixth dimension is Mars, but they say it's also Saturn. So it could be either or, right? Because there's multi-dimensions, they're multi-dimensional. So the sixth dimension is the matrix. So for right now, it's Mars and Saturn that are upholding the matrix. But Venus has their ninth dimensional matrix as well. So all of them have a matrix frequency bandwidth as well that shapes reality as we know it. Because in magic, right, we go to the different planets to shape our reality in certain ways because they have certain effects, right? Each planet has their own quality. And with that being said, the Martians, the Greys, if you've ever heard about them, the Grey Martians from Mars, they do actually have a lot to do with shaping reality, right? Their missions and stuff, they do experiments, all that. They're time travelers. Time travel is associated with the sixth dimension. And the fifth dimension, Venus, or the moon, because moon was actually sent from Venus. It broke off from a planetary body, I believe, and I believe it was from Venus that broke off and became the moon. And it's hollow. The moon is hollow on the inside, and people live in the moon. Okay. Fifth dimension is compassion and harmony. When you get there, there's no war between darkness and light. Now, on the fourth dimension, you still have darkness and light, and you must choose between yourself and others, or you can go the middle path, the center path. That's the test of the fourth dimension, is will you choose darkness or light? Once you have chosen either darkness or light or the center path, and you realize that it's either you or them, or it's both of y'all, it's you and other people, that's when you have entered fourth dimensional consciousness. Third dimensional consciousness is being stuck in a divide between self and others. Second dimensional consciousness is the dimensional consciousness of being a biological organism, of being living, being alive. First dimensional consciousness is you're just programmed. You're just like a cell. You're just programmed. Because cells exist on the first dimensional consciousness as DNA encoding and blueprint for the matrix, I guess you could say. Alright, so that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. I'm just kind of throwing this stuff off from the top of my head. I didn't write it down or rehearse or anything, but it is stuff that I've known for a while. So if you have questions and want to have discussions, I can definitely touch based on those things in my next video after seeing the comments. Alright, love y'all. Peace be with y'all. Ashe, ashe, ashe.